something this club isn't used to. How are the players handling it, and yourself as a senior player, how do you help the young kids through it?
Yeah, it's certainly been disappointing for everyone, players, coaches, staff, and yeah, we're not happy with it. We've been really consistent, and certainly we're doing a lot of things during the week with training and stuff to make sure we get ourselves out of it. And considering we haven't won a game yet, the spirits are really high amongst the group at training, also away from the club. So certainly everyone's sort of really looking forward to this weekend, hopefully trying to make amends.
So many players have made their debut the last couple of seasons for you guys. How hard is it to, introduce them into the club and get them ready for top level footy?
Well, I think a lot of the guys, especially the guys last year, they played a number of years in our reserve. So it's not like, even though they were debutants, they were experienced, I suppose, being around the footy club with our training standards and our playing standards. So certainly a few of the guys who've budded this year have been really quality players in Ollie and Will and Robbie Fox and Nick Newman. And so there's been a lot of really positive signs in that respect. And they're guys who we think have got really bright futures for the footy club. It's really exciting, and at times they've been some of the guys that have played really good footy for us. So certainly it's not a fault of the young players that I suppose our form has been fluctuating.
Dan, there's been a fair bit of criticism of the midfield guys, particularly someone like yourself there. How much of that criticism is warranted, do you feel?
Oh, I think it's fairly warranted. I mean, last year we were able to be really consistent as a group of probably 5 or 6 guys that throughout the whole year were able to play really strong footy. There wasn't too many games where the guys as a group were down, whereas I suppose throughout this course of the year we've had good quarters here and there, but we haven't been able to consistently come off the ground and say we beat the opposition midfield, which is really disappointing, and it falls on everyone, and certainly I'm a part of that. And my form's been inconsistent at best, and it's been really disappointing. And me, like the rest of the group, and especially the midfielders, are really working hard during the week to rectify it.
What do you really need to do personally? What do you feel has been missing from your game?
Obviously, just probably having that impact around the contest and stuff like that. And I think, as I said, myself, Joey Parks, Heaney, Jonesy, Lloydie, a number of guys, we're all working really hard during the week with our training. And I suppose controlling what we can control during the week to give ourselves the best chance to perform on the weekend. And as I said, like a few guys just probably haven't had the impact that we would have liked.
John spoke after last week's game about the fact that you've sort of lost your competitive edge, or it just hasn't been there the way it has, that we know the Swans can play. How do you kind of solve that? Is there a way of solving that? Do you talk about it? How do you work that out?
We've done a lot of talking, but I think the best way to solve it is just by actioning on the weekend, and certainly the way we've trained. Last week it didn't really correlate to the game, but certainly the last week and a half, 2 weeks, we've, I think, turned a corner with our training. We're really starting to gel, and boys are working really hard on their individual games, but also as a team we're working really hard to improve some of the areas we need to improve on. And I've got no doubt it's going to start to turn, and the attitude of the whole group and the staff and the coaches has been extremely positive, and the main way to get out of it is, as I said, just by really hard work week to week.
One positive, Joe McVeigh returning this week. How important is he to this team?
Oh, Mac is really important. He's been a general, not just back six, but also midfield for many years. He's, I think, one of the equal longest serving captains of the footy club. Everyone loves having him around, and certainly having him included in the team, it's a bit of a spur, and certainly excited teammates that he's back in. He's had a lot of. He's been very unlucky in the last probably year or two with injury, so we just can't wait for him to get out there this week.
Not sure if you saw it. You probably didn't see the footy show last night. A report saying that you're carrying osteitis pubis, I think was mentioned, and another couple of ailments, I think they said. Can you shed any light on that? Yeah,
I don't know how that sort of came up, but certainly, like any player in the competition, there's I've had a few niggles here and there, but so has every other player. So I'm no different. I've been 100% fit to train our main sessions and play and feel really good going in a game. So certainly from that perspective, I'm fine.
And your running's always been your main strength. Has that been affected at all this year? Or?
No, I don't think so. I think at times certainly we look at games and us as a group we could have worked harder. As I said, we're working on that during the week. But no, my running during the game hasn't been affected by any niggles or injuries or anything like that.
Have you done anything different as a group, meetings, or you mentioned you've been talking a lot, had a few chats. Have you done anything different to freshen things up? Or?
Yeah, the fitness staff and coaches, whether we're winning or losing, are always trying to mix it up, vary things up from a meeting point of view, what we're doing at training and things like that. And even though we haven't had the greatest start to the year, certainly the coaches and the leaders are trying to mix things up with how we go about things. And as I said earlier, the the atmosphere around the place and the energy around the group, considering we haven't had a win, is still really positive, and the guys are really up and about, and really looking to turn our season around this week.
And this weekend's game against Brisbane, I guess it's a game that most people would expect you to win, but in your situation you probably don't expect to win, I guess. Well, I say don't expect to win, you wouldn't take a win for granted, but how important is it to get back on that winners list this week, and just your thoughts about the Brisbane game in general, please?
Oh, it's vitally important. We've got to get our season going. We've talked about it for a few weeks now, and it's there's not much more time left. We've got to get going this week. Starts today. Brisbane have had a really competitive start to the year. We've watched a bit of their stuff, and certainly their game against the Bulldogs was outstanding. They're unlucky not to win that game, and they've certainly got a lot of talent throughout that list. Their young players are really strong. You look at Hipwood in the forward line, amongst other guys, and Shaki as well. So they're really up and coming, and their midfield's really strong as well. So you got to respect your opponents. We respect Brisbane immensely, and we know we're going to have to really lift our effort and intensity over that 4 quarters. As cliche as it sounds, that's what we're lacking, and we need to make sure that's consistent this week.
And Aaliyah looks like he might come back into the team. What was, when he was omitted, I guess people were a little surprised by that, given the rebound from defensive 50 that he provides. Did you need to work on anything in particular to get back in the team?
Yeah, I think like all players, he had a few specifics defensively. I think he needed to work on, but I think he played really well in Northern Territory last week. A lot of the boys watched that first half via video link, and he was outstanding. So not sure whether he'll play or not. We'll find out after training, but I'm sure he's certainly right in the mix.